Alright, welcome guys. My name is Travis. I'm from the Fall 15 class of ECE 555's Simulation and Rapid Prototyping with Dr. Moslehpour. And today I'm going to go over a few things, a few labs that we went over in class. So, let's get started. Alright, good afternoon guys. Today we'll be taking a look at Lesson 7. The lab is called Setting Design Constraints. In this lesson, we will be exploring the design rule system and applying design rules for physical and spacing dimensions. We will also add, change, and delete properties of components and nets. So getting started with Lab 7, we're going to take a look at Lab 7.1. It's called Setting Physical Rules. The objective of this lab is to define physical routing rules for special nets. So the first thing we're going to do in this lab is actually open a pre-designed simulation. So it really all depends on where you have the simulation saved at. Mine is just saved locally on my desktop. So we're going to take a look at unplaced right here. We want to follow through all the command prompts, warning, and then this is what it will look like. Now the first thing we want to do after that is go to our setup, constraints, as in physical. The constraint manager open forms. Now we want to go to all layers under the physical side. Let's make this a little bigger too while we're at it. Makes it a lot easier to see. I want to click all layers here. Then in the default category, you just want to change all of these values to 6. Or just the minimum anyway. So we're going to hit delete, press 6, then we're going to press tab. And as you notice, it auto-populates. Hit 6 again, tab again. Skip over that. Skip over that one as well. Stay where it is. Change this one to 6 as 2. Everything else here is good. Now the next thing we want to do is hit objects, create physical C set. Then we want to get rid of this old pre-existing name, and then we want to call it 8 underscore mil underscore line. Then we want to hit OK. Then you notice it'll pop up right here. Now the next thing we will want to do is change some of the values. Like for example, let's change this to 8. So we're going to hit backspace, 8, and then cool trick, tab. And like I said, you can see tab, how it auto-populates. We're going to ignore this, so you want to jump straight back. Change this to 8. And now the rest of the values are true. Now under the net subcategory, you want to hit all layers. Then we want to click on the unplaced. Okay, then we want to scroll all the way down just like I just did. And now we're looking for V clock A and V clock C. And we found them right here. Now we want to select and also shift select as well both clock A and clock C. Then we're going to do a right click. Well, since in this case, since we have to highlight both of them, go to objects, because if you do the right click, sometimes you can only click one thing at a time. That way if we just go to objects, we can click both of them. Create, and then net class. And now we want to call this over here sync. Make sure both clock A and clock C is highlighted just like this. Then we want to hit OK. We just created the new net class sync and identified the special nets V clock A and V clock C belonging to this net class. Now we just want to scroll back up. Then we want to find sync. Then we want to change that. Not this guy. Wrong thing. Sync, and we want to change it to 8 mil line. And we want to make sure we're good there, just like we just did it right there. And then we just want to hit file, close this away, save as, and we just want to call this constraints. Let's get out of here. Alrighty. And now that we just finished lab 7.1, now we shall take a look at lab 7.2. This one is called setting spacing rule. Our objective this time is to define spacing routing rules for special nets. So the first thing we want to do is reopen that same file that we were just working on. If you didn't close it for last time, then it should still be up. And assuming that you did leave it up from last time, let's just keep going. So now we're going to setup. We're going to drag it all the way down to constraints, and this time we're going to spacing. Now this is everything that popped up in the last lab. We're just adding on to it. So now under the spacing constraint set, we're going to go to line. Now the thing with line, we want to change all of these values to 6. So doing what we did last time in the lab, we're just going to click on default. That first one, we're just going to backspace. Backspace. And now we want to give it the value of 6. Now we want to hit tab, 6, tab again, then we want to hit 6, and then so on and so forth. Okay, perfect. We just reached the end. So now we just want to double check and make sure that we change all our values to 6. And we did, just like that. Now we also want to do that also to pins. Same exact thing here. 6. And we're just changing all of these values to 6, just like we did in line. Nope, that one's already good. Gets a little tedious after a while. Alright, perfect. Oh, not quite. And then we want to do the same thing again for vias. Alright, perfect. And as you can see here, as we change the defaults, the constraints also, that's right above it, also change as well. So as soon as you hit tab, you should see that value actually change. I didn't point that out before, but hope you guys noticed it. And after that, we're going to take a look at shapes. Perfect. So that take care of that there. Let's take a look at blonde finger too for a second. These are all 6. Perfect. So that's good there. We're actually going to change this one to 6 too, okay? See, look at that. It changed it right there, just in case you guys didn't notice. Now we're going to go back to our spacing constraint set. All layers. Default. And then after that, we just want to go back to objects, create, jump the gun a little bit. This time we want to go to spacing CSET. Then we want to give it our 8 mil title. Then we just want to hit OK. Then we're going to hit all layers again. Or we can go to line. Let's see. What I'm looking for particularly. Under net folders is where we want to go to actually. Then under here, I want to click on sync again. Then you want to change that to 8 mil space. There we go. Enough of that. You just want to hit save again. And make sure it's called Constrains. And then you just want to hit save. It's going to actually, if you want to override the previous file, yes. That's what we want to do. Now that we finished lab 7.2, now we're going to move on to lab 7.3. This one is called setting class rules. The objective here though is to create a new class of nets and set a class rule. So it actually picks up and continues from the last lab. So now we still have our constraint manager up. So now what the next thing we want to do is move on to line. And it's basic constraint. Just want to click that again. Select the default. Then this time we can right click, go to create, spacing CSET. Now this time instead of creating the 8, we're going to create the 15. Then we just want to hit OK here. Now that the 15 mil space just popped up, now we just want to change all the values. Just want to change this to 8, and the rest of them to 5. Okay. Actually, gonna change a few things. Took care of default. Now we want to change 8. Gets really tedious. And now we want to change this value to actually 15. Okay. Then we just want to take a quick look over and make sure everything is right. Now we want to go back to line here under the nets. Give that a click. And we want to select on constraints. We're going to create a net class this time. And we're going to call it VD nets, okay? Caps lock. However, before you hit OK, this time we want to unselect the create for both physical and spacing. We want to unselect that option. Then we're going to click OK. Next thing we want to go to now is we're going to go to Objects. Gotta click on VNet, sorry. Click on VNets. Then we're gonna go to objects. Then we're gonna go to add to net class. And now the net class membership should pop up for you. Now with this step, what we want to do is scroll down. We want to select VD0 all the way to VD7, okay? So let's go find. And here we go right here. You want to give that a double click. Double click. And there we go. Now that we did that, we just want to hit OK. And now they should be listed. Now in the net class, we want to click the arrow, expand this. Now we're going to click on line. Now the VD nets are displayed here too. Right click that, create, classical is what we want to click on. Then from there, you just want to make sure the VD nets is highlighted on net classes on the left, and then however sync has to be selected on the right hand side. Then we just want to hit OK. And on the VD nets under sync, we just want to change this value actually to 15 now. Now you should see the values also auto-populate according to that spec. Now we just want to hit File, close again, save. Now it's going to once again ask you if you want to override. Yes, we do, so you just want to click yes. And there we go. Now we move on to Lab 7.4. This is the last part of experiment of Lab 7. This one is called Working with Properties. The objective here, attach, display, and delete properties in a design. This one is a little more of a doozy, so I can understand why it's the last part of the lab. So bear with me here as I go through it with you guys. Like I said, it's a little bit of a doozy. You might catch yourself making some couple of the mistakes I made, and I might even still make them. But let's see if we can point any out if there's any. Alrighty. So now getting started, what we want to do back in the PCB Editor, just want to click on Edit. Oh, make sure you still have your Constraints file up too. That's very important, because then without it, we're going to be doing this for no reason. So just want to hit Edit. We want to click on the properties here. Now we want to move over and scroll over to the Find option on the right hand side. And then the Find by Name, we want to change that to Comp or Pin. And then now we want to click J1. Then we're going to press the Tab key and watch what happens. The Show Properties command window opens up. It's going to say no properties is found currently. So now on the left hand side, we just want to click and drag this over a little bit. And then we're going to scroll down on the table of contents. We're looking for, there it is, hard location, then fixed. And as you can see, they pop up on the right as well. So now we just want to make sure that these values are true, and both of them are. So we want to click Apply, and as you can see on the Show Properties window, that now they're fixed. So after that, now all we want to do is exit this out here. Then we want to click on Close. and then we're going to right click. Done there. Now we're looking for the fixed icon. It should look a little like this. So if you scroll all the way up or move the cursor, let's say the little thumbtack looking symbol, you want to click that. Now we want to scroll over back to find again. Now here's the key here. Under design objects find filter, we want to click all off. Okay? And after that, the only thing we really want to turn on is the symbols. And now we want to click on both B and C connectors. So these guys right here too, if you're not familiar with the layout. I'll click one. Click two, and then we also want to click the outline of the board too. So let's see if you can move this cursor over to that point. There we go. Hit that symbol. Now the next thing we're going to do is go back to that edit, back to properties, find, change this back to Compa Pen. This time we want to click on more. Then another window pops up. Then we want to scroll on down the list here. We want to locate D1, D2, D3, and D4. So there you go, D1, D2, D3, D4. Now we want to click on apply. There we go. And now the show properties window's back up again. Still saying no properties are found at the current second. Now in the edit property window, we want to go back to the table of contents. And now we want to scroll down the list here. And now we want to look for room. And there it is right here. So we're going to click on that. Now in the value next to it, we actually want to type in LED. Then click apply. And there we go. And back in the show properties. Make that a little bit bigger so you can take a look at it. Then we want to click OK. We're going to close this out. Then we want to click OK. OK again. Okay. And now in this section of the lab, we will start attaching properties to several nets in the design. Oh, the microphone wasn't on. I'll repeat it just in case you guys didn't hear me. In this section of the lab, we will actually now start attaching property to several nets in a design. So back to the find by name. We want to scroll over. Now we want to change it actually to nets, to net rather. And now we want to type in VCC. Hit tab. And there you go. Now you see in the background, you actually see the labels pop up. And show properties, back at it again. Now over here, back to the table of contents. Now we want to scroll and we want to look for min line width. I'm going to click on that. Then now we want to give this the value of 15 mil. Then we want to click on apply. And as you can see on the show properties window, that the value is changed in a sign. So now we want to go back to find again. This time we want to type in ground, GND, tab again, ground is selected, and now we want to do the same exact procedure as we just did. Look for that same inline width, assign it 15 mil again. Then we want to click on hit apply. Now we want to close it all out, so we're going to hit OK. Now we just assigned some properties. Now the second thing we want to do now here is go back to our trusty friend edit, toggle on properties, and now back over here, back to the find, and then that's I'm going to type in just actually an asterisk this time and just hit tab, and then show properties. You can see everything that we have assigned. I'm going to click on file here actually, and we're going to save this. We're going to save it and we're going to call it net props. Alrighty, make sure it's a txt file, hit save. Now that's currently working in a directory, so now we want to hit close, hit OK. Now the display, we want to go to property actually. Then available properties, we want to search for room. Make sure I don't pass it. Pretty good at passing it. Oh, there we go right there. You just want to hit room. Hit the show val button on the right hand side. There we go. And we want to make sure that's all right there. Then we just want to click OK. Now we want to go back to edit properties all over again. Back over to find. However, now we want to change it actually back to comprehend again. Do the same thing we did before. J1. Hit tab. Now you can see what we worked on last time. Got fixed in hard location. Now on the edit property, this time we actually want to actually click check mark on the delete for hard location. Then we actually just want to click on OK. Then we want to right click on the actual schematic, hit done to exit the edit properties command. Make sure you always do that, because sometimes you click on things that you may not want to click on and something else may happen. So always get in the habit of right clicking and pressing done on whatever you finish executing that command. And then now we just want to go over to file, save once again, and it's going to ask you if you want to override. Just click on yes once again. Then it should be saved. And now that ends lab 7. And as you guys go on to lab 8,